Hi boys and girls, Ken Smith Fishing. Sometimes we have those evenings where the video equipment just doesn't want to cooperate. So this is take 3, click, how do they do that? Click, whatever. So tonight, this may be news to some of you guys. So I was up last week at the Bass Cat dealer meeting, and Bass Cat rolled out 3 new models. Now, one is a Bobcat. I think it's replacing the Margay model. One is a 50th anniversary boat it's a cool boat. I'll show you that video later this week. But the one that everybody was interested in was what they were referring to as the stealth boat. They didn't show us this boat until the second day of the dealer meeting. And it is actually, before we go there, let's do this real quick. So let's do a spark drawing. Then we're going to show you basically everything that we saw at the dealer meeting. And then we went on the water, and I'll show you that. And at the end of this video, I'll wrap by giving you my thoughts on the boat, having got to spend, half a day in and around the boat. So spark drawing for today is going to go to Renee Arredondo, Arredondo in Pasadena, Texas. So there you go, Renee. Congratulations. By the way, that drawing was Spark Energy customers, Spark Fishing affiliates, and everybody that's gone to the Spark website and just entered their name to get in the drawing. So that's our winner this week. All right, so let's go back and talk about the Bass Cat. So you're going to see there's going to be 2 boats here, a red one and a blue one. It's the same boat. The only difference is the red one has a form of, and I believe he calls it PVC, but it's a form of sea deck like decking in the boat. You can get it for the whole boat, or you can get it just in the cockpit. That's probably what I would choose to do. But they're listening to us, right? So what this boat is, it's called the Puma STS. And if you don't remember, the Puma and the Cougar were largely the same boat, 20 foot 4 inches, just basically had a different cap on it, a different fishing surface, different box configurations. The Cougar is staying the same, I believe. The Puma, however, got stretched. It's now 20 feet 7 inches, and it got stretched in width significantly. Now, I believe it's a 96-inch beam. I made a note to myself that that's what somebody said, but it's not on the website yet. But what I can tell you is we measured the boat, and the fishable space on the front of the boat is even slightly bigger than the Lynx, as is the fishable space on the back deck. I believe there's only one boat we measured that has more fishable space on the front deck. So what Bass Cat has done is they have greatly widened this boat, and you're going to hear Rick talk about, they've compressed the boat. So we're in the Lynx and the Jaguar. It's a big step, if you will. Now there's a step in between, but from the cockpit floor to the fishing surface is yay high. This boat being compressed, being a shallower boat, it's a much more Phoenix, or more like the Puma, right? But for the guys who aren't real familiar with Bass Cats, it's more like a Phoenix or a Ranger step to the front deck, or a Triton step to the front deck. So I'm really interested in this boat. It's got a lot of the things I like about the Lynx. The only thing it doesn't have in the Lynx is it's got 5 inches less bow rise. So you think about that, standing on the front deck of the boat, you're 5 inches closer to the water than you were in a Lynx, which equates to some degree. You get on really big water, you get on Erie, probably easier to keep the nose of a Lynx out of the water than it is to keep the nose of this boat or any other boat with a lower bow rise. And so I'm really interested in this boat. A couple of other things that are on this boat. They've got a new latch, and it's funny. Obviously Rick was working on this way before I started complaining about latches, but he designed it. Nobody else has it. It's not a Perco latch. It's nobody else's latches. It's Bass Cat's latch. He actually showed me several months ago the wooden mock-up of this that they designed, and it's really cool. It's a compression latch, but it's easy to open. And what he did that's brilliant is he put the latch mechanism outside the box. So it's outside the channel. So that's where most of the water gets in rod boxes, other than obviously open them when it's raining. But it runs through the latch and then gets in the box. Can't happen in this box. It can't happen in this latch, because the latch, box is here, lip is here, latch is here. So any water that runs through the latch goes outside the lip and then drains the normal drainage through the boat. Very cool. You're going to hear him say it's only on 2 models, but I would suspect we're going to see that through the Bass Cat lineup eventually. Also, Also something they changed, if you remember when I graded the 2 bass cats before, one of the things I complained about was where the co-angler put their rods, I had to recut that because of something I just said, guys. Where the co-angler puts the butt of their rods in the hole is too small. Man, I just embarrassed myself. But they've made that bigger. So rods that have that big round bulb on the end of it will go in there easier. So they're listening. They also put, before you could get that phone holder down under the dash if you bought the stereo package. That's now standard across all the premium boats, and it's a piece where you can swing it up under if it's raining, so you can still see your phone driving down the lake, but it's out of the rain, and the plug is hidden up under there too. So you can charge your phone, do whatever you want to on your phone, pull it out where you can see it real easy, or push it under in the rain where you can still access it and see it pretty easy. Boat has a lightning detector on it. That's brand new technology. I believe that's been on saltwater boats for some time, but it's available now on bass cat boats. We'll talk about that. I think that's it. So you're going to see exactly what we saw. You're going to see how they rolled the boat out. Everybody in this room is either a dealer, a pro staff guy, or a sales guy. So they ask the same questions you and I ask, and you're going to hear I ask a lot of questions too. So let's check out the Bass Cat Puma STS Soft Touch Series. At the end of this, I'll give you my take on the boat from getting to drive the boat around a little bit. Here we go, guys.
Latches are simple, push, pull. Push, pull. You can close them, or you can close them and close them. They're double staged, so you push them down, they go all the way to the bottom. They'll click, click, just like a car door.
And you're going to control water flow in the rain through those too, right?
There is no water flow because it runs outside the channel.
So that's what he just said. He built that where it sits
Kim's
up
got
outside
his video
the channel.
This is a twin, so it has 2 latches on it, 2 catches, and 2 latch arms. So actually it's 1 lock assembly now and 2 catches.
So one of the problems we'd always struggle with was...
And this is the most functional boat. All these parts are actually production parts.
Will those latches be in all the premium boats?
They'll only be in 2 models right now, Ricky. This and the Jack. But we have some work to do. It'll eventually happen, but it's going to take some time. It's on the storage because you got a little bind on the seat, so we got to work on that. We moved the billet rail next to the passenger right here. They got a grab rail next to the passenger on the billet rails. All the rails are billet now, so there's no stainless rails on this system. This went from neoprene to reflex. Neoprene, this was already reflex. We did go on all the premium series with the X brace at the console. And you do have a power port underneath that you can plug your phone into, and you can pull the X brace if it's set up. They got this one turned so tight, so you can pull the X brace out and you can see your phone. Floor drain, we moved to a big floor drain in the middle. That's one of the things I've always wanted to do, because in especially the Great Lakes up where you guys are, when you spear one, you're liable to put a foot of water in the boat on big water. And the problem and the reason we didn't do a floor drain is everybody say, well, they do that because they ride boat. Well, we got the driest riding boat in the market. So it's not for getting water out because you're going to get it. It's for getting water out when you do get it. And so I want that drain to suck that water out as fast as possible. So we're going to move through time to more big drains in the middle. And that's all custom again. Our seat box is the same. The seats did change on all the boats this year. The headrest and the foam pack got another change. Of course, you know about the carpet, and this is the 28-ounce carpet. This is actually the new Umbrella vinyl, and it is really good. It's really supple. It's about as soft as you want to go in an outdoor vinyl and get durability. It's the same setup with the power pole doors. You got the same access, and there's your blade. We did something a little better here. They've got a little turn down in them now, so you don't see that raw glass cut. Clean and pull the door out.
They just conserved it.
Same setup, 2 little toolboxes. And then the back splash wheel is really clean. It does have aluminum bars. They are underneath. And we've elevated the fuel cap so we try to get a little bit more room in there, and did a little bit of design on the outlets. We did them where they'll miss the poles. But I was so frustrated every time you go to a boat show and you've got that compression trim, and because you're trying to keep the boxes dry, you've got pressure on the lid, where other people don't care about the boxes being dry, and you can open their latches and they just open and close, and people don't understand you're really trying to keep the boxes dry. That's why you've got that compression trim there, why you have to push down on your lid to open it. And they don't understand that, the consumers. So now from a boat show aspect, and we pulled all the latch water out of the lid opening. So it's all running outside the lid.
That's a huge place where you get your water in your boxes too.
That's pretty easy. Y'all are more than welcome. Crawl on them, look at them. The new reflex floor over here, everybody's wanted the reflex. I'm 50-50 personally on it. We've already got a couple of guys at the shop running in the rain, and they realize that it doesn't hold water like carpet does. It doesn't hold water like carpet does. So when you run in the rain, that water in the rain winds up circling the cockpit. So now you feel the water level staying down. The water now runs in the cockpit, and it tends to get you wet. It's a wetter ride because of the cockpit floor. But people want it, and that's what they want, so that's what they got.
I love it.
We will just do the cockpit. There you go. Ricky's got the mic hand up here. So yeah, the reflex floor, that inset, they're filing a provisional patent on it also because nobody's ever done that. And we actually, 2 years ago, had a custom bit cut for that reflex. So we actually paid for a custom bit, and when they set the CNC machine, they have to set the timing on it differently. So the only thing they can run that on is that one machine. Because the guy has to come from California to Georgia to set the machine.
Rick, explain the difference in the material again.
That's a PVC, so it's polyvinyl chloride versus an EVA foam. So technically it should be more durable and more stain resistant.
More dog toe resistant? For those of us who take dog
More
toe.
dog toe resistant, yeah, same deal.
Rick, are there more colors available?
Pardon?
Colors?
Right now that is the color. Yeah, you can put it with all the carpets, but that is the color.
I didn't understand this morning. So is that carpet under that, or is it cut out?
Oh, it's cut out.
Okay. And is there more width in this deck than the old Puma deck?
Oh yeah, that's about like what your Lynx is, Ken.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, and that question has been asked, and I did know the number. I just don't remember the number.
Hey, I got a measuring tape.
Yeah, I bet you do. About 2 mile an hour to 2 mile an hour. That's what it gave up. But the ride, anybody, when you get to the water today, the ride's going to be, you'll know. It's pretty sweet. It's a wide boat. It's a big boat. We worked hard. We ran on full weight. We got one with a 250, one with 300, so you can play with them. They're going to be pretty close to final production weight. Because obviously, you know, we've got enough products that are not production yet. But when we get to production, these are pretty much, all the parts are pretty much production. So we'll be right there with it. There won't be any change in weight. We do have a couple of changes to the cockpit flooring to make, but they won't be noticeable to this speed.
We're going to have Andrew measure the front deck at the seat hole.
Everybody knows the Marinetown latches we had were our own latch. We were the only ones using that latch. Marinetown is actually building this handle for us. We have another company building the catch. We have another company building the rod.
Really wide.
The assembly doesn't come from one company. And we got another company building the actual catch arm. 4 companies involved.
So right there, it's 56 inches all the way where you stand.
Chrome deck fills on a gas tank heat the interior, so now you got more gassing, more EPA issues. So all that EPA AVAP system on a chrome gas fill, it makes all your problems worse. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Let's do the back. So 78 inches of carpet, about 80 inches in width. So it's real similar to the Lynx.
Andrew's got his tape measure out. 7.
All right, so I get this question a bunch. I got a guy this morning that said he's 6'4" and he's 280 pounds. So this is the new Puma STS. So this is basically a cross between, I'm gonna say, a Puma and a Lynx and a Jag. That's Andrew in the driver's seat. Andrew's a little guy. Andrew, what are you, about 5'7"?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Around 6'6".
And then about 210?
I'd be sexy if I was that low.
Yeah, we wouldn't know you. Yeah. And I mean, he fits in there pretty good. I believe you could drive that. Got knee room. Got 6-pack room.
Not adjustable on the underneath side.
Easy to get up on the deck.
Easy to get up on deck. It's not the step it is in the Lynx.
You might have said this, but whenever y'all designed this boat, what did y'all design it to do differently than the...
We really, for a landing ride, wanted to run with a really soft ride ruffle. So it's why it's called the soft touch series. So it touches soft when it hits.
The more way you feel it from whenever you're up on step or the way the nose hits through?
It's just, you know how you feel a boat when it hits jar? You won't feel that as much. So we pulled all that jarring out of it with what we've done.
And I'm sorry, you said it, but I didn't get it on camera. From a performance standpoint, versus Puma versus Jaguar.
Well, Jaguar obviously is a huge boat.
I'm sorry, Lynx.
Lynx is it's a big boat too. This boat's a little quicker than Lynx.
Okay.
It probably sits almost immediately right in the middle of them. Just almost right in the middle between the two boats.
Is it rated at 300?
It's rated at 300. Part of the usability of the boat and the feature of the boat to keep the trolling motor where it's at, because I have to move the trolling motor out on the V. And that V serves no purpose other than make my boat longer. I can't use it.
That's really good to know.
I don't understand what he said.
And then the trolling motor isn't as easy and it's not as usable. Function of the trolling motor changes because now I'm not hitting the center right. All of the metrics change.
Now, explain that to me again.
So basically what he's saying is they could have made this boat lengthwise 21 foot, but when you do that on this specific design, they're pushing the nose out so much farther. You have to move the trolling motor, you have to move your depth finders, and you're messing up the actual kind of like the ergonomics of the whole thing. So by making it more of a quote-unquote rounded nose, you're allowing for more usability of room. Yeah, and then obviously there's still going to be a phenomenal ride.
I really like the big drain, slope forward.
Just my understanding, it's a little bit shallower of a hole than the Lynx.
Yes,
The deep
everything's shallower than Lynx. Everything's compressed on this hole. Now the Jag is not. Jag's the same STS running surface, but the hole's not compressed. It's full deep, big water Jag.
And there's no
And that's where the Lynx is really going to shine. So a lot of guys are going to say, well, I don't want to buy a Lynx when I get this. Well, where do you fish at? What do you do? Do you fish on windy days? I mean, every day, this is going to be nice. The soft touch is a nice ride. But if I'm out in 5-footers, I might think about that more bow rise on that Lynx. A Lynx is going to have 5 inches of bow rise over this hole.
Explain bow rise.
Basically, bow rise is a mistaken name. You got to really figure it out. Basically, that's the rise of the bow over the surface. It's got more bow rise.
Over the surface of the water.
Yeah.
Spear less weight. Spear less weight.
Just go less ways. It actually,
If you ain't spearing, you ain't trying.
It'll spear less waves.
That's from Rayburn News.
Yeah. That's a Rayburn guy versus a river guy. You're gonna spear less waves. Yeah.
Yeah, the river guy doesn't understand that yet unless he's on the Arkansas River. Wind in the Arkansas River get just about bad.
The Dardanelles nasty.
Dardanelle gets nasty when the wind blows.
If they ever put bass in there, I'll worry about it.
This magazine did a video on it, but Talus came to us, which they were looking for a market to grow, and they built a lightning detector, picked it up, we think it's a cool feature.
How the heck does it work? How does it work?
It works just strictly off the electricity in the atmosphere.
And it detects the lightning strikes or the.
It detects lightning strike has 3 signals.
How far out will it detect them?
7 miles. That's what they say, 7 miles.
So we got. That's that little thing right there. Am I pointing to it?
Oh, that's close. Yeah, I really like to see more of them sold with seats here. And I like
lightning detector.
Have seats here because a lot of times people go ride it.
Tell you to get the
And there's
crap
just
off the
hard
water.
center seats, especially family boats. Anybody in a dealer setting that's selling a family boat, they should take the fiberglass console out and put a seat.
If you do that, is there still an ice chest under it?
Yeah, still have the ice chest. Just use the loose boat guards.
Okay, guys, this is just a walk around of the 2 Puma STSs. So again, this is the replacing the Puma FTD. If you remember, the Puma and the Cougar were largely the same boat, different top cap configurations. So this boat is going to be 20 feet 7 inches, same length as the Lynx. It's going to be, I believe, a 96-inch beam. I think that's what I heard. But it's got basically the same or slightly more fishable deck than what the Lynx does. So I've got a little bit more footage here for you guys to see, but I just had a minute here where I got some nice walk-by footage, and then we'll go to the lake right here. Rick, did you say this is changing or this is staying the same? Did you say this is changing or this is staying the same? Okay.
But it's different than yours.
It is. How so?
Yours is open on the bottom, and you have a decal in the center of your handrail. And this has got all aluminum parts in it built by ProMet. I don't know where the guys at ProMet are, probably in the room in there. All right, guys, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to let everybody run, let these boys get these things in the water.
All right, guys. Sorry for the wind noise. So Scott from S&D up in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Where the heck is that?
We're about 25 miles east of Oklahoma City, right on I-40. I-40 runs right through us.
So we are in the new Puma STS. So this is the cross between the Lynx and the old Puma. And neither one of us have ever been in it.
No hot foot, no pro.
No hot foots. I'm trusting you not to kill me.
We do have a pro too. No hot.
Here we go. Let's see the whole shot on this thing.
This has got a 300 on it.
Oh, we're cheating. We're cheating a little bit.
I'm not sure where the best way to go. I don't feel as safe over here. I'm like you.
I know. so I drove the boat. We cheated, right? We were in an empty boat with a 300 horsepower Mercury on there, and it will fly. It's got tremendous bow lift, but again, it's an empty boat with a great big motor on it. I believe what Rick says, which is this boat's going to be a little bit faster than the Lynx and a little bit slower than the Cougar or the traditional Puma. It's a bigger boat. The hard thing for me, and the thing I would have to do before I buy this boat, is the only way we were able to drive all of these boats was with a hand throttle. I haven't driven a boat with a hand throttle in years, and what I discovered was when you're running up on wakes and you're trying to control the speed, it's really hard to do, especially if you catch a wake. It will cause you to put the throttle down and you accelerate into the next wake. Not cool. I felt quite a bit uncomfortable trying to drive it at high speed, which is why I didn't get in this boat that hard. You're going to see I got in the Era and let Kenny drive the Era because he's got a lot of wheel time in that Era, and we flew in the Era. You'll see those videos later. But I would want to drive this boat in big water where I could control the nose with the hot foot. I think it's going to be great, but until I can do that, as you guys know, I'm not going to say the boat drives great or doesn't drive great until I've driven the boat in conditions I'm comfortable driving the boat in. But I will tell you, there was a Major League Fishing guy there, a couple of them. There was a couple FLW guys there. I had heard 4 different pro staff guys who already have their 2022s on order say, okay, I may change my order after they took this boat out and drove it around. So guys are liking that wide body boat. Bass Cat's acknowledging that a lot of us like that wide body boat, even though a lot of the traditional Bass Cat guys want that narrower, super fast boat. There's a whole big population of us out there that want a wide body boat, and they're acknowledging it, and I think some guys are starting to see the advantages of having all that additional space. So it's cool. If you like the Lynx, but you don't like that center rod box, different layout on the front deck, you need to take a look at this boat. It's got the net scabbard in the front. It's a cool setup. You can get that decking over the whole boat, or I would just put it in the cockpit floor. It's cool looking. There's some great additions on this boat. It is something to consider. Once I get this boat, once we get one in East Texas, get a hot foot in it, let me get it out and bang around in it for a day, I'm going to grade this boat just like I did the rest of them. Unless it really surprises me, this boat's going to grade as good as, if not better than the Lynx. So stick around. I got more video for you guys this Friday. I appreciate you watching. We're going to try to get out and do a little bit of fishing this weekend so we can actually get some fishing footage up as well. But sometimes you just don't get to do that, and you guys all know that as well. But thanks for tuning in. If you don't subscribe, please do. Hit the bell. It'll notify you every time I post up a new video. And do me a favor. If you like my videos, share them with a friend. I'm at about 15,000 subscribers, and I'd love to grow the channel even more so I can do more and more videos. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see y'all soon.